I'm gonna start this off by saying the fact the fact that people ignore. I'm gonna tell you what's the standards in boxing just got low, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We're sending a guy who couldn't get past Cambosis at Terence Crawford, and people won't. I can't even take that serious. And now we're starting to hear. Well, I already knew this was going on, but Teofimo thought he was gonna be able to be a free agent. It's all allegedly, but he thought he was gonna be a free agent, and it's not happening like that right now. From what I'm hearing, we went from wanting the Brian Norman fight to trying to make that happen to now he's calling out Terence Crawford. Now he's supposed to be a free agent. Nah, I don't know what he was trying to do. Dude was out here trying to see the wrong people trying to get paydays. I ain't heard nobody refer to Teofimo as trying to get a payday. He's trying to get a payday right now. He could easily fight Boots. Why he not an option for Boots? That's the thing that's kind of shocking to me. Why you can't? I'm pretty sure he could have fought Boots Ennis already. He ain't trying to make that fight happen. They asked him about it, and then he started talking about back in the day and what he used to do at a tournament that Boots was at with him. And come on, man, you ain't trying to fight this guy. You ain't trying to fight anybody. Yeah, so he got contract situations going on that we shouldn't even be hearing about right now, because if you was just fighting, we wouldn't have this problem. But the fans, it seems like the fans believe in him more than these promotional companies, because ain't nobody trying to put him on pay-per-view right now. They can say, you can have all these fans say anything about him, how they think he'll beat Crawford and everything else. It sounds good, but right now, he's not getting any of those fights. And why would he at this time right now? Bro, in this generation right now, and it's happening quick. As soon as Terence Crawford all of a sudden is looking for certain fights, now we got guys who not even in a position to have that type of fight. When Terence Crawford was coming in, everybody said, "Oh, you gotta fight certain competition, or he ain't did nothing in the division." But for some reason, Teofimo ain't did nothing at 47 and 54. And people are like, yeah, he can come up and fight. Why they didn't say that about Crawford? Well, he was in the same spot. This dude trying to go at top rank. That's the dumbest thing you can do right now. That's probably the dumbest thing he could do right now, to be honest with you. Putting himself in a bad position. It's the dumbest thing he can do. They already looking out for you, putting on shows in different places and trying to figure it out. Trying to get a buzz going for him. And he dropping the ball. Then he calling out Terence Crawford for what? That's the biggest clout chase I ever seen in my life. Ever. You got guys barely surviving in certain fights. Now he's supposed to fight the best. But what's gonna happen is he gonna end up getting put in a certain fight that he gonna have a lot of trouble in. Bob ain't gonna play with him. He gonna put him in a tough fight. Well, just any fight at this point. Any fight for him would be tough, so he just gonna stick him in any fight right now at this point. At the end of the day, man, people can talk, but you still gonna have to fight. Regardless. Still gonna have to get in the ring. It's cool to promote yourself. A lot of people like it. It builds the fights. But when you make that mistake, you gotta get in the ring. Still. And I don't want to say nothing super negative to where I'm just putting out bad energy, but these next 3 years are gonna be the most important years of Teofimo's career ever. If he don't turn this around, he gonna be retired early. Trying to chase behind Terence Crawford, that's the wrong thing to do right now. And I don't take it serious, because if Terence Crawford retire tomorrow, you ain't gonna turn around and call out Boots. And he's at 47, closer to your weight class. Oh, what's going on, Leon West? What's going on with you, bro? But he ain't finna turn around and talk to Boots Ennis. They asked him about Boots Ennis. And the first thing Teofimo said was, well, you know, me and Boots Ennis, we had won a tournament together. That ain't what we asked you, brother. Do you want to fight the man? That's it. He says yes, but his energy was like, absolutely not. I told somebody recently, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the only American fighter that Teofimo has fought in like the last 7, 8 years is Terence Crawford. And the other guy he fought is a guy that got 5 losses. I mean, like 5 wins and like 18 losses. Oh yeah, man. Nice seeing you, man. Yeah, so right now, Teofimo, he's in a position right now. He thought he was gonna get away from Top Rank. So Top Rank had a contract. You know, Shakur Stevenson just got out his contract with Top Rank. Teofimo contract was basically in the same position as Shakur Stevenson, but he was holding off from doing fights allegedly, and he did like a retirement or a fake retirement, whatever it was. So it took a lot of time away. So his contract was still extended because he didn't finish. He didn't finish his contract out, so it got pushed back. So people thinking, oh yeah, he just got one more fight. They like, no, he got a couple of more fights. So in the meantime, while he running around calling out Crawford, Bob Arum like, okay, I'm finna put you in a tough fight. Let me get that belt up off of you. I'm gonna need that before you walk out the door. I'm gonna put you in a tough fight. And then I got a couple of fights left, so you might leave with 2 or 3 losses. And you might not be any good when you leave here. By the time you get done, so you might want to try to make everything better. Yeah, he in a bad position. All that yelling and promoting and screaming and the WWE antics, It's cool at the end of the day, but you got to box. The fans, they gonna laugh and cheer with him, but when he in this position right now when he trying to make his career right, ain't nobody trying to reach out and give him no legal advice. Ain't none of them fans gonna do it. But the fact that fans take him serious for calling out Crawford is over. Now every time a boxer calls somebody out, people gonna take it serious. Even though the dude has never fought that type of competition. He hasn't even fought the best in his divisions. People say, yeah, well, Lomachenko, he beat Lomachenko. Lomachenko was a 130. He's a 130 pounder. He is a 130 pounder. Lomachenko is a small guy. Still a good win at 135. Don't get it twisted. He's still, what I'm saying though, compared to where Teofimo's at right now, and after the Josh Taylor fight, that ain't Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford ain't no 135. So calling out people is cool and everything, but as your career go on and the years go by and the fans realize, hey, he ain't fighting nobody. Oh, why is Teofimo fighting Steve Claggett? Why is all these fans in the comments section, but they ain't showing up to the fights? Oh, why are they teaming up to say that Terence Crawford's resume is terrible? I heard somebody saying Terence Crawford's resume is bad. I made the picture, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get into it now. They said Terence Crawford resume is bad. I can expose all that very quickly. I said a bad resume. What does that mean? And let me see if I know where it's at. Man, I don't even know where I put it. I hope I ain't lose it. Might have to look for it. Yeah, I could have sworn I put I made one with Terence Crawford. If I didn't, I had to do a new one. But I didn't do one with Terence Crawford though. Oh, you saying stop? What you mean? I had seen one when it was I heard people talking about Terence Crawford resume, and I'm like, I didn't really think about it. I'm just like, okay. But now I'm sitting back thinking, I'm like, Terence Crawford resume. What are they talking about? So people telling me that Earl Spence, they got one loss, that lost a fight while he was standing on his feet. They act like he was asleep on the ground. He was standing on his feet, bloody at the end of the fight. So for some reason, that's a career-ending loss. Sean Porter, first time getting stopped by Terence Crawford. I mean, by anybody, but was by Terence Crawford. No credit. Terence Crawford got no credit for that. Then he fights Madrimov. Didn't stop him. but don't get credit for beating him at 154. Yeah, I was looking for this picture I had made. I had made a picture where I had all the people resume up there. I'm gonna show you one of them I made though. But I had made this because people kept saying, well, Teofimo beat Lomachenko. He beat Lomachenko. I'm like, bro, who cares, bro? Don't y'all know I watch this boxing stuff? Y'all talking about Teofimo resume. So, on this picture I got right here, the best wins right now that Lomachenko got, I went up and down his resume. The best wins he got, because I'm not going to put Rigondeaux on there. Rigondeaux was like 10 pounds. They pulled him up like 10 pounds to fight Lomachenko. And we actually want to give them credit for that. They act like they couldn't find nobody else to fight. So, everybody talking about, well, Teofimo beat Lomachenko. I'm like, okay, cool. Now, Lomachenko, his best win is probably Gary Russell. That's probably his best win that he got on his resume. Lomachenko's best win is probably Gary Russell. And Kambosos, who stopped Teofimo Lopez. And people will say, well, Kambosos, he already lost to Haney and he was supposed to lose to Massey Hughes. Okay, well he still beat Teofimo Lopez. How you think he got the belts? Now, if I sat up here and said these two wins right here were the best wins that Terence Crawford had, people will sit up here and be like, oh man, that ain't no resume. I'm gonna pull up another one. I know people will get sensitive about this, but they don't even know what I'm talking about on this one. But I'm gonna pull this one up for a good example. Okay. So we looking at resumes. So I know a lot of people say, well, Pedraza and all these other guys. Yeah, but those guys ain't really. I mean, you can throw those other guys on there, but this is just opinion. I say Gamboa. Gamboa went 12 rounds. So this Tank best wins. Gamboa went 12 rounds with Tank. And he had one, he was on one leg. Gamboa was on one leg for 12 rounds against Tank Davis. Matter of fact, he was, besides Eastside Cruz, he the only guy recently that made it 12 rounds with Tank Davis. And people say that's a trash fighter on Terence Crawford resume. Are people serious? How was Gamboa a trash fighter on Terence Crawford resume, but on Tank resume, he one of the biggest names on the resume. If it wasn't for PEDs right now, Ryan would still be a quitter. So he's not supposed to be on this list. He on here by accident. Barrios, people really wasn't giving him props until he beat Ugas. Before that, they wasn't giving him props for losing to Keith Thurman, even though I know Barrios a good fighter. I'm just talking about what they was putting out there. But yeah, Gamboa. Ain't nobody asked Tank to fight Barrios or Gamboa. Nobody was out here saying, oh man, Tank need to fight Gamboa. And these are the biggest wins right now. Most of his biggest wins wasn't things that fans requested. But you go to Terence Crawford resume, they asked him to fight Porter, he fought Porter. They asked him to fight Spence, he fights Spence. Oh, they ain't good enough, man. They ain't good enough. They ain't good enough. We need boots now. But these other fighters, they ain't even fight who y'all want to fight. But yeah, like who Lomachenko beat Gary Russell, but ain't nobody saying nothing about Gary Russell. So the only time Gary Russell get credit is when we talking about Lomachenko resume. You see how they use people in boxers? They use Gary Russell name so they can try to push Lomachenko resume. Because he ain't really did nothing, to be honest with you. I really watch boxing. I'm talking about at a high standard. He ain't really did nothing to where I need to be bowing down and just Everybody talking about he ducked Tank Davis anyway. So if Lomachenko ducked Tank Davis, was it a mistake or not to have him on pound for pound number one? Dude was number one pound for pound and he ducked Tank. And I was telling people back then, hey man, he be doing stuff like that. Nah man, he number one pound for pound. Now 10 years later, everybody, yeah, you a duck, man. Who cares, man? That was 10 years ago I was saying that. We moving on. Now we got this guy running around trying to get credit off people. Teofimo Lopez just using names out here. Now you got issues. You trying to get off top rank. Why would you try to get off top rank and they out here got you winning fights you ain't supposed to be winning? They really helping you, allegedly. They really helping you out. This dude want to leave somewhere where they helping him out. They trying to build his brand. He's like, yeah, man, I'm going to leave, man. I can do it somewhere else. No, you might want to stay over there. The last time Teofimo left top rank, he got a loss. He left top rank and went to the zone, tried to go to Triller, went to the zone, and got a loss. He might need to stay where he's at if you want to keep that resume squeaky clean. Might want to stay where you at, buddy. If you was over there with Eddie Hearn, you'll really have to fight some people after a while. Because from what I seen on Teofimo Lopez resume, this dude ain't fighting no Americans. We can forget about all that Terence Crawford talk. I'll pull his resume up right now. Everybody on his resume is from overseas. He ain't trying to fight nobody at home. He ain't trying to fight nobody at the crib. And I just had people that been saying certain things. Yeah, the dude ain't fought nobody. He fought Richard Comey. Where Richard Comey from? Ghana. That's not America. This dude ain't fighting nobody from America, man. This dude running plenty of game on the fans right now. I'm telling you, the last black guy that Teofimo fought was a guy that got 5 wins and 18 losses. He ain't fighting nobody black. Go look at his resume, Leon. He ain't fighting nobody black. He ain't fighting nobody. Teofimo like that little dog behind the fence. He ain't fighting nobody black though. He just, Crawford. Who the last black guy you fought? Well, Richard Comey. He ain't from here. When the last time you got a knockout? Oh, 2001? 2001? Oh no, it's time for you to get up out of here. You ain't had a knockout since 2001? And they got you on ESPN as the main event? And you trying to leave? Hey man, this dude's spoiled, man. Yeah, nah. Hey, his loss came on the zone too. He went to the zone. He left ESPN and got that loss. Then he ran back like help. Then they started saving him with them Sandor Martin fights. Yeah, but man, to be honest with you, bro, like to be honest with you, we be really nice to Teofimo. Look at this picture right here. I'm telling you, like in America, we really be nice to these fighters. Because I can really go in on some of these fans who be trying to troll. But I really be nice. I just keep it boxing. But look at this. 1 knockout since 2020. Horrible. I bet ESPN ain't gonna never post that. Look how bad that is. And they be trolling all day. Oh, Crawford. Come on, man. Are y'all really gonna run boxing in the ground to make a name for Teofimo? Why are we doing this? And couldn't even do the George Kambosos rematch. And Terence Crawford got 4 knockouts and he barely been fighting. I'm surprised he got that many. I'm like, whoa. Boots got 6. Benavidez got 5. Shakur Stevenson got way more knockouts than Teofimo, but they'll tell you Shakur Stevenson, he a pillow fish. He don't got no knockouts. He don't be knocking nobody out. He got the same amount of knockouts Canelo got since 2020. Well, he's not exciting. Okay. Well, guess what? Is Teofimo 1 KO? Yeah, it looks crazy when I put it up there on it. And you know what? I've been holding on to this for like a month and a half. I really don't show it that much, but yeah, man, Shakur Stevenson gets knockouts. He just fighting good competition. He's not fighting Steve Claggett. If he start fighting Steve Claggett and walk around at 140, yeah, he probably would be getting KOs right now. But yeah, he got the same amount of KOs as Canelo. At this point right now, we promoting these fighters like they are children or something. And I ain't being funny. I'm just talking about guys like Teofimo. I don't want to throw Canelo in there. I don't want to catch no strays, but he one of them too. These dudes ain't doing, everybody blowing them up like they just knocking everybody out. They ain't getting knockouts like that. And I like Canelo, but I'm just saying, he ain't getting knockouts like that. When people say, oh, he'll knock out Terence Crawford. He couldn't knock out Charlo, but he'll knock out Terence Crawford. And y'all think y'all know boxing. Okay. He couldn't knock out Charlo, who came up from 154, but for some reason. So that basically the fans think that Charlo could beat Terence Crawford at 154. So why we ain't just make that fight last year when I tried it? That's what I was saying. I was like, Terence Crawford should fight Charlo. Oh, he too small for Charlo. Never heard that before in my life. I've never heard nobody say that a fighter was too small to fight somebody. That didn't get invented until 2024. That was invented in 2024. Rigondeaux went up, what, 10 pounds? And fought Lomachenko? Kell Brook went up 13 pounds, fought Triple G. To be honest with you, I don't care if Terence Crawford fights Canelo or not. Because most of these guys right now, it's not, people are trying to make it seem like, oh, Terence Crawford just using Canelo name to build. He just want a payday or he trying to promote. He really ain't said nothing about Canelo. He really ain't in front of the camera like that. It's the media who keeps saying, well, Canelo could possibly fight Crawford because they ain't got nothing else to talk about. They ain't got nothing else to talk about. Have y'all noticed that Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and I'll throw Canelo in there too. They trying to include those guys' names with Crawford to build some kind of news up. Like, yeah, it's a possibility. At Teofimo, he could really try to fight Crawford. I don't think people really understand. And the thing about it is, I actually been watching Teofimo over the years. I've been watching Teofimo over the years. He's getting worse. Like I told people recently, I was like, the dude needs to like get a trainer. He cares about his career somewhat because he's training with Canelo now. But have you noticed, like the fans, Teofimo ain't got real fans. Because if they did, if he was real fans, they would have said, hey man, you need to work on your skills. You need to try to get better, switch your trainers. Nobody tell these guys to switch trainers. They'll tell Deontay Wilder to switch a trainer. Man, Deontay Wilder, he need to get another trainer. Ain't nobody telling none of these other guys to get trainers. And the dude couldn't even cut off the ring. One thing about Deontay Wilder, I said this a couple of months ago, and people didn't understand what I was saying. He's lost fights before, but he didn't lose a fight because he couldn't cut off the ring. I've never watched a fight where I said, man, Wilder ain't knocked this guy out because he couldn't cut off the ring. This guy can't cut off the ring right now. And we talking about him fighting Crawford? And I ain't even got to get all deep into boxing or nothing like that. If you know what cutting off the ring is, that means chasing somebody in the corner and trying to get a knockout. He can't do that no more. And he ain't jabbing. So the knockouts ain't coming because he can't throw the jab no more. This dude been spooked to throw a jab since he fought Sandor Martin, and Kambosos did a little bit of that too. But Sandor Martin mostly, he been spooked to throw a jab. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get on the internet and go back and forth and just yell and fuss about stuff. I'm gonna just wait until the schedule changes and see who Teofimo fights next. He said Wilder never beat two lineals in Lomachenko. I don't care if they were undisputed when Teofimo beat them. To be honest with you, this ain't that type of channel. If you watched boxing recently, we've seen guys get opportunities to fight for belts after losing fights. So the lineals and the undisputeds and everything, it's cool. Nobody cares that Terence Crawford is undisputed 2 times right now. So why would I care about somebody being 2 times lineal? And I'm not going in on you. I'm just saying that would make sense, right? If Terence Crawford is 2-time undisputed right now, and everybody says he's trash and he hasn't fought anybody, why would I care about anything in boxing? Like any kind of accolades or achievements. Why would I care about that? Everybody else doesn't care, so why would I care about what somebody did in boxing? Who cares? Josh Taylor beat Regis Prograis and they put him on pound for pound. Whoop-de-doo. He beat Regis Prograis and got undisputed. Think about that. And I said a couple of years ago when it happened, that's not a big deal. Terence Crawford was in that weight class before Josh Taylor was even thought about. Josh Taylor ain't try to fight Terence Crawford. He would have deleted him. He said who you beat matters more in my book. And I'm glad you said that because I think you just got here. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Would you agree that the Gamboa is one of the best wins that Tank Davis has on his resume? Gamboa, right? That's somebody that Terence Crawford fight. So that's a name. Gamboa went 12 rounds on one leg against Tank Davis, one of the best fighters of all time. So that's a name. Let me see. Teofimo lost to Kambosos, right? So Kambosos is one of Lomachenko's best wins right now on his resume is him stopping Kambosos. He was the first fighter to stop George Kambosos. That's one of the best wins on his resume. And the win that got him on pound for pound and everything else is him when he beat Gary Russell Jr. Even though Gary Russell Jr. don't get credit. Now, if Terence Crawford if these were his biggest wins on his resume, would you say Terence Crawford was one of the best of all time, like everybody says about Lomachenko? Because everybody, for some reason, thinks that because Teofimo beat Lomachenko, that we're not supposed to remember him losing to George Kambosos. I'm just asking. You said I rank high. Yeah, but Shakur Stevenson was at 126 as well, so that doesn't mean anything. Shakur Stevenson was at 126, and he the same type of fighter he was at 135. Tank just fought Gamboa like 5, 6, 7 years after Terence Crawford did. So he fought an old Gamboa and still went 12 rounds. Terence Crawford fought a young Gamboa who had both of his legs. Gamboa had a torn Achilles against Tank, and he went 12 rounds. So that was one of Tank's toughest fights and one of his best wins on his resume. So you gotta listen to what you're saying. Gamboa, Tank fought a Gamboa that he went 12 rounds with a Gamboa that wasn't that good. Then that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. I'm not saying that. I think Gamboa was good. You said Gamboa versus Lopez before Salido set the card. Salido versus who? I don't know what you're talking about. Salido. But I understand what you're saying, but Gamboa was still that guy. Gamboa just recently fought Gamboa fought Tank, Haney, and Isaac Cruz back to back to back at an old age. Gamboa got one of the best resumes in boxing. Even after getting stopped. See, people try to make everybody else's resume in boxing seem like it's just magical. Like it's, oh man, Lomachenko. Oh no, Teofimo beat Lomachenko. Who cares? So what? Josh Taylor beat Regis Prograis. And then, okay, nobody cares that Devin Haney beat Regis Prograis no more. So why would I care about Josh Taylor beating Regis Prograis? You said name a good Gamboa win at 135. Said name a good Gamboa win at 135. Hmm. Hmm. So we're going. So you're saying based off of Gamboa's resume not looking good. Now that's supposed to mean that. So you're discrediting Tank Davis' resume, bro. You're not. You don't understand what you're saying. You're discrediting Tank Davis' resume. You do understand that, right? Terence Crawford fought Gamboa when he was nice at a high level. That's just like me saying Teofimo beat Lomachenko when he wasn't that good. Who Lomachenko? What kind of wins Lomachenko got at 135? I can make that same argument with Lomachenko. I can make that with every fighter. I can say look at Canelo's resume at 175. The same way people are talking about Terence Crawford at 154, I can talk about Canelo's resume at 175 against Bivol, Kovalev. Got the knockout, but you can do that with every fighter. To be honest with you, if I wanted to go a little more than where I'm going now, I could just go back to this picture and I could say, you said Tank been fighting undefeated good fighters. Yeah, but none of the fighters that Tank fought recently is better than these guys that's on this picture right here. And one of those guys is on Terence Crawford's resume. That's my whole point about it. If you think Tank fought good fighters, great. And none of those guys are still better than what Gamboa was. Anybody that's in boxing to tell you that. Gamboa's resume as an old man is better than some of these guys' resume in their prime. He fought Tank, Haney, and Isaac Cruz recently. And he fought Tank on one leg. And that's after fighting Terence Crawford, before everybody thought Terence Crawford was even good. But I'm gonna tell you something else too, Riz, since you said that. How many of these guys so these the best guys on Tank? Cause I already told people Gamboa was better than Isaac Cruz. Oh no, Isaac Cruz. I was like, nah, bro, Gamboa better. Now if Isaac Cruz wouldn't have lost that fight, people would say that Isaac Cruz was better, but now they starting to see the real picture. He ain't really that good. Well, he's good. I ain't gonna say that, but he ain't unbeatable. But ain't nobody asked Tank to fight Barrios. Like, I'm talking about as far as, ain't nobody, now this is where we gonna go a little deeper on this. Ain't nobody asked Tank Davis to fight Barrios. Ain't nobody asked Tank Davis to fight Gamboa. The only person they asked Tank to fight was Ryan Garcia. Now, when you flip the script on it, everybody asked Terence Crawford to fight Sean Porter. They said he was ducking Sean Porter. They had to go to first bid for that fight. He fought Sean Porter, ended up stopping him. First person to stop Sean Porter. He didn't get credit for that one. Turn around. He fight Earl Spence while he was calling out Charlo. Everybody said he was too small to fight Charlo at 154. He goes out there and stopped Earl Spence a couple of months later. For some reason, none of them wins is better than what I'm looking at right now. For some reason, Earl Spence getting one loss. Everybody like Earl Spence got put to sleep or something. Earl Spence was standing up at the end of the fight bloody because he been trying to walk somebody down for 9 to 8 rounds. And that was a bad loss of a lot of people. And Ryan Garcia goes out there, take a knee against Tank, and they're like, oh, you know what? That was a good win. Dude quit, man. You said, why keep saying Crawford is getting no credit? He's top 3 pound. Bro, Crawford shouldn't even be mentioned with Teofimo Lopez. Crawford's name shouldn't even be mentioned with a guy that got one knockout since 2020. To be honest with you, nerd, I should be making a video every day that the boxing media and these outlets, just go to Google and type in Teofimo Lopez and Terence Crawford and tell those people and ask those people, why do they keep mentioning Terence Crawford's name next to a guy that got one knockout since 2020? Do you know that we treating Teofimo Lopez? He should be, bro, he getting treated like, I don't know. His prayers are getting answered right now because we really should be trolling this guy every day. He's not as good as he says he is. Why is Terence Crawford able to get trolled, but this guy who has one knockout since 2020, he has a lot of fans, he has a lot of fan bases that's running around and saying because he's yelling to the sky about a certain fight that he should have or deserve, for some reason now, we should listen to him. For what? Now he's going to start a generation of fighters that's just going to start calling out people. Yeah, man. We was just starting to get away from that. Do y'all notice that nobody was going around and doing that, calling fighters out? Do y'all know that nobody was running around and calling fighters out and saying, hey man, this guy's ducking? It's only like 2 or 3 guys that's doing that now. And I'm being real, I'm dead serious. I'm like dead serious. If I'm lying, name some fighters who's running around and making up, oh, this guy's ducking me. Like, bro, those days are over. I don't know why fans, I'm serious. It's only like 2 or 3 fighters that's doing that right now. Teofimo is one of them. Ryan Garcia, another one. But he'll tell you when he's taking fights though. But the whole Terence Crawford thing and him making up fantasy fights, come on, Ryan, you ain't finna fight no Terence Crawford. Let's be real, bro. Virgil Ortiz asked you about the fight, you got quiet and he looked the other direction. You said that's because Terence Crawford has no big fight in his division. That's why he's asking for Canelo 2 weight classes up. I'm glad you said that. If Errol Spence is not a big fight in boxing, that means boxing has no talent. Period. If Errol Spence is not a big win, that means boxing has no talent. If Sean Porter is finna get put in the Hall of Fame, and Terence Crawford being the first and only person to stop Sean Porter in the fight, if that's not a big deal, that means boxing is trash and it's overrated, and that's why Jake Paul is doing what he's doing. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with you saying that, but that just lets me know that boxing is trash. The only people that can actually beat Crawford right now is Teofimo, who lost to Kambosos, and Jaron Ennis, who's had a belt for about a year now. If those are the only 2 people we can get to find that can beat Terence Crawford right now, boxing is trash. Period. And this is not me being mean or anything. This is facts. Y'all know that. What's going on, Go Good? Teofimo got 1 knockout since 2020. This is the guy you gonna send? So if your life depended on it, if you had to send somebody to beat Terence Crawford and your life depended on this fight, you gonna send Teofimo Lopez? Well, get ready to eat your last meal then. You said Canelo will whoop him. Canelo will whoop who? Canelo will whoop who? Do you see this picture up here I got up here? Canelo got 3 knockouts. It's about to be 2025, and Canelo, so it's going to be 2025 soon. And by the time Canelo fights again, that's still going to say 3 KOs since 2020. Canelo ain't whooped nobody in the last couple of years, bro. Canelo ain't had a knockout since 2021. Canelo ain't whooped nobody in a long time, man. I didn't know y'all thought Jamel Charlo was just that good to the point where he's so good that he can get in the ring with Canelo and nobody else can't. I didn't know that fans actually felt like that. I'm going to start putting Charlo on my pound for pound. I want somebody to say something about it. I didn't think that Canelo going 12 rounds with Charlo meant that he could just smash Crawford. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You said Crawford couldn't even KO someone with 11 fights, and y'all just begged David Benavidez to fight a guy with 10 fights, 11 fights. But y'all just begged Benavidez to fight a guy with 11 fights, right? Is it the best fighter that you can find right now in boxing? A guy that has 11 fights to fight Benavidez? Ain't that the best guy that everybody could find? I didn't even care about a Morrell fight right now. Did you know that Morrell has 11 fights right now? That's the best guy that people can find to beat David Benavidez. How am I taking boxing serious right now? And we're still talking about Majramov with 11 fights? Do you know that Majramov used to fight at 168 and he beat is Lacey's and Glacey's, a guy who's like a top 10 super middleweight right now? What are we talking about? Have you seen Majamov's amateur resume? Go look at it real quick. He was fighting at 168. So Terence Crawford just beat a 168 who fights at 154. That's pretty. Wait until Majamov actually starts to beat these other guys who's sitting around in boxing. Because Eddie Hearn's kind of laughing right now because he knows, man, I just had a guy who went 12 rounds with Terence Crawford. I'm finna put him in a ring with everybody. Majamov will go in there and give Canelo some smoke right now while people laughing. And it might happen. Because I'm pretty sure if Triple G can go 12 rounds with Canelo, yeah. Everybody else been going 12 rounds with Canelo. But yeah, everybody be saying that Canelo gonna whoop somebody or KO them. He ain't whooped nobody. He couldn't KO Charlo. I thought that conversation was over with that day. Before he fought Charlo, a lot of people were saying that Canelo was declining. I put out a video last year saying Canelo's not declining. Everybody just panicking and scared. And they were just scared, thinking that Canelo's getting older. Dude, 33 years old. I think he was like 32, 33. I'm like, what? This dude's 32? And people think he's too old? He's declining? That's scared, bro. So you had to KO somebody to whoop him? That's what everybody been saying lately. Majamov, Terence Crawford ain't KO Majamov. That's what you just said, right? That's what you just said. Terence Crawford ain't KO Majamov. So yeah, you have to. Yeah, you said so. You have to KO somebody to whoop him. Yeah, you do. Terence Crawford ain't get the KO, so he ain't whoop him. Yep, that's the standard now. That's the standard. That's what the fans been saying, bro. I'm just using what the fans been saying. Everybody been agreeing, right? I'm just using the words the fans been saying this year. Everybody said Shakur Stevenson got pillow fists, but he got the same kind of knockout Canelo has. I want pillow fists like that. I want to know why Shakur Stevenson has more knockouts than Teofimo Lopez. That's all I want to know. This video is not about Canelo Alvarez. I'm actually a huge Canelo fan. But when people say, oh, he's just going to KO Crawford, stop it, man. It sounds good. It sounds excellent. Matter of fact, if you put a beat behind it and record it, you probably can make a song out of it, but it's not going to make it true. This dude couldn't even KO Charlo, man. I'm being nice by actually letting people say that kind of stuff. How about Canelo prove to me that he can go knock out Charlo? You said Charlo ran the whole fight? Bro, Jose, I'm just going to ask this question right here. And it's all I'm going to say. And I'm just going to say this and that's it. Because I've been watching Canelo for a long time. You can include Canelo, Deontay Wilder, Tank Davis. You can even throw Lomachenko in there. When have we ever seen a boxer get in the ring with a guy and he ain't get a knockout and we said, hey man, that dude was running the whole time? I don't remember watching Deontay Wilder and him not getting a knockout. And I said, man, that guy was running the whole time. He ain't get a knockout. I don't remember that. And that's a guy that people say they can't box. So he can't box, and all he can do is throw the right hand. For some reason, I never said that people was running from him the whole fight, but for Canelo, they ran the whole fight? I don't know about that. I'm just saying, I don't know about that. We got to use that reason for everybody. Hey, Jose, my dog, I'm just saying. You say everyone asking for Boots and Bud. Everyone asking for Canelo and Benavidez. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And I know everybody ain't waiting on Boots and Bud because If Terence Crawford name ain't mentioned with Boots, ain't nobody mentioning Boots. If Boots was really as important to fans, because I heard people saying the Boots was getting hit too much and people was laughing at him. It ain't a lot of people that's really fans of him. They just want to see him beat Terence Crawford. That's all they want to see. So Dave Benavidez is going to give an example of that against Morrell coming up very soon. Because I've already put the video out about, and I seen somebody else put out a video saying, using my little stuff where I said Benavidez, David Morrell and Majamal got 11 to 10 fights. But don't nobody care. Then I see somebody else doing it. But yeah, nobody cares that David Morrell got 11 fights right now. You're not going to hear anybody make jokes about David Morrell only having 10 or 11 fights. You said Charlo lost, all respect, he never went to toe-to-toe. That's what you don't understand, Jose. And I ain't going in on you. I ain't going in on Jose. But I'm just going to tell you this, Jose. We say that, and don't take this the wrong way, but I'm just saying this. We saying that because that's what we say. As far as the boxers that fight here in America, we have a certain standard. So we're not like how everybody else is doing now to where, oh, you can fight whoever you want. That's why when you see a lot of fans right now that are fans of Tank Davis and people say, hey, I want to see Tank fight a certain person. And people say, oh, you're just a hater. See, that comes from that Canelo stuff that people be doing. See, those are people who are fans of probably Canelo as well. You can be a fan of Canelo. I'm just talking about they learn to try to defend fighters. Because when Floyd Mayweather was around, we never did nothing like that. But the only reason we went in on Charlo was because he took the fight and he didn't do anything. It's other guys who took the fight against Canelo and they did nothing as well. And nobody cared. The reason we're doing it is because that's what we do. But if people don't do that to their favorite fighter, we don't need everybody to join in on, oh, well, Charlo ain't do nothing against Canelo. He was trash. No, y'all need to say that about a couple of fighters. I ain't gonna name no names right now, but it's a couple of fighters who's gotten in the ring with a lot of guys, Canelo, and has done nothing. Just because Berlanga and Munguia went 12 rounds with Canelo, I'm not excited about that either. Because they both got dropped. Was afraid to let their hands go. Man, you in the ring with Canelo. This is a once-in-a-lifetime fight. And you ain't letting your hands go? You got to think about it. You surviving? Why would you survive when you trying to be the first person to knock out Canelo? These dudes getting in the fight with Canelo, they're not even trying to be the first person to drop Canelo. Even if you know you're going to lose the fight, try to drop him. Try to put him on the ground. Be the first person to put Canelo on the ground. These dudes just happy to be in there with Canelo. Let's be real. There's a lot of heavyweights right now that's happy to get in the ring with Tyson Fury. That's why Jared Anderson got did like he did. Yeah, man, Tyson Fury and Joseph Parker, those my friends. Yeah, you fought like you ain't been sparring nobody. Cause everybody your friend. But nah, that's what we do because that's what we do. That's why a lot of people got high expectations for Earl Spence right now. They like, man, Earl Spence, dang, I can't believe he went out there like that against Terence Crawford. But everybody ain't doing that though. Nobody cares that Andy Ruiz looked like he was about to pass out against what's his name, Big Baby Miller. And we're only mad at Charlo because Charlo jumped in the way of Terence Crawford and didn't fight Terence Crawford instead of just fighting Canelo. Charlo could have fought Terence Crawford last year and still fought Canelo this year. And got way more money. If people saying, oh, it was about the money, he wasn't going to turn that down. Canelo would have waited on Charlo. Charlo could have fought Crawford, got the money. Yeah, I know what happened. I know about Charlo stepping down and everything else. And you say he stepped up to the plate. He ain't step up to the plate. He was a 154 that went up to 168. And he got exactly what I knew he was going to get. He got exactly what I knew he was gonna get. We didn't learn anything about Charlo fighting Canelo. We didn't learn anything. The only thing I learned was Canelo couldn't KO him. And people say he got dropped already, and he was in the corner. Charlo was on the ropes more in the Canelo fight than he ever been in any fight. He was on the ropes. He was on the ropes. And the only reason he stuck around because he started letting his hands go in the 11th round. But Canelo made these fights up to last year. Canelo knew what time it is. And I'm not mad about Canelo or anybody else. I'm not going in on Canelo. I have no problem with Canelo. But the things I do know is Canelo wasted some good years fighting Golovkin when he really was carrying Golovkin. But right now, nobody want to see Canelo fight anybody right now. If I say who y'all want to see Canelo fight, who you gonna name? Right now. If I say who y'all want to see Canelo fight? Let me show you how important Canelo is to boxing. If I say, man, who you want to see Canelo fight right now? People gonna say, they ain't got no names. Got no names. If I throw Jake Paul's name out there, people gonna say, I want to see him fight so-and-so, so-and-so. What about Canelo? Well, wow. That's when you know it's time to hang it up. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm being real. Nobody's going to watch David Benavidez versus Morrell and be like, exactly, David Benavidez, he ain't finna fight him. It's over with. I mean, I'll watch a Bivol fight, but if Bivol go out there this weekend and get beat up by Bitterbill, it'll be a waste of time to try to look at him and Canelo fight. Exactly. He should have fought Benavidez. I'm telling you, if Canelo would have fought Benavidez and Crawford, Canelo would be the biggest thing out here. Nobody cares about a loss. Canelo's lost twice already. Nobody cares. He doesn't understand, though. He doesn't understand. It's a difference between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather. It's just a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference. I know people might say things about Mike Tyson and everything else, but when it was time to make the fight, Mike Tyson made the fight. He might have went in there and bit some ears or whatever, but he made the fight. That's why Mike Tyson is more. I'm just telling you, man. It's a science to boxing, inside and out the ring. Everybody think they know the sport of boxing. They think, oh, because this guy, I call him the face of boxing, he gonna be a legend when he retire. Canelo not gonna be on no Mike Tyson level when he retires. He's not gonna be on the Cesar Chavez level when he retires. You're not doing anything for the fans. Chavez fought everybody. Chavez's resume so good that even if you go back and say, man, I wish Chavez fought that guy. If he didn't fight the guy he fought the guy. You said, who gonna pick up the torch? It's Benavidez right now. Benavidez is picking up the torch. If people quit throwing rocks at him, he might actually keep his fights in America and not take them to Saudi Arabia like he should. Go ahead and get the bag. But right now it's gonna be Benavidez. I mean, everybody's already doing it right now. The young guys are already doing it right now. Ryan Garcia stepped up. Made some fights happen. Benavidez stepped up. Tank made a couple of fights happen. Haney made a couple of fights happen. Then you got Benavidez back on there. I think Munguia gonna be in the he gonna be the next one to start doing it. Him and Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson. Then I think Boots after that. And then possibly after that, it'll be like Bam Rodriguez. But Teofimo Lopez, he was right there, though. Teofimo was right there. All Teofimo had to do was accept the... I mean, one of the fights I gave him an excuse for. I ain't going to say right now, but... Yeah. You right. 600K. At 600K, yeah, you right. You right. But Canelo ain't putting in that. You talking about yeah, they're gonna be pay-per-view. They're gonna be pay-per-view. Yeah, they are. They are. Shakur Stevenson a lot more popular than I thought. Shakur Stevenson a lot more popular than I thought. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie about that. He's a lot more popular than I thought as far as boxing. People like to watch him fight. Ryan suspended. Yeah, he'll be back. I think Ryan need to come back and make that Virgil Ortiz fight though. He'll make a statement. Yeah, I don't know what everybody talking about with that the 130s. You said Haney stock drop, bro. I ain't no, bro. If you think Haney stock drop, bro, you're mistaken, bro. How has Haney stock dropped when everybody keeps asking this guy to rematch Ryan Garcia? I'm just gonna drop the science on it. You said Shakur will flop on pay-per-view. Bro, they was gonna do the fight like a UK like slash. It's a lot of people that like Shakur Stevenson in the UK, man. I'm gonna do a story about that, but it's a lot of fighters. I don't know if y'all know it, but it's a lot of fighters right now that's coming up in the UK system. Well, I don't know if y'all seen it, but it's a lot of prospects in the UK. They fight like Shakur Stevenson. They don't fight like Tank or they don't. Yeah, everybody don't fight like Nick Ball over there. That's why everybody so like Nick Ball so much. They never seen a guy from the UK and really fight like that. But most of those guys fight like Shakur Stevenson though. He got a nice little following over there. You got to build it up though. As far as pay-per-view, it's not always gonna hit, but you got to be doing numbers to actually even get a pay-per-view, like to take a chance on one. Tank versus Roach. If the undercard is good as it looks to be, it could be 500K. It could do 500 with a good undercard. They're not promoting the fights like that though, and they waiting too late. They're waiting too late, and then they trying to make it seem like everybody's gonna just pay attention to Tank promotions before Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. Then they putting real fights on that card, so make it a little harder. But yeah, I think if Shakur would have fought this time, it probably would have flopped. But I think probably you give it like 1 or 2 fights. If he fight Zepeda, it's gonna sell. It ain't probably gonna do no crazy numbers, but it'll do like a Regis Prograde Haney type of numbers. But if he fights Zepeda, he'll do numbers. But it's hard to do 100K right now though. Yeah, I know they put some crazy numbers on it. They got mad at me. They talking about he did 400K. Bro, if Tank Davis was doing 400K, why would he stick all those names on one card? It doesn't even make sense. Like anybody who if y'all had Benavidez and all these fighters, y'all know we would have just put Benavidez on a different card, made more money. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's gonna flop. People don't understand that. Mike Tyson fighters, it's on Netflix. Everybody's gonna be in the house. This is worse now because this is gonna be the wintertime when that fight comes on. So it's gonna be cold outside. So everybody's gonna be in the house. They're gonna turn their Netflix app on. They're gonna start seeing Mike Tyson and Jake Paul pop up, and they're gonna be like, "What is this?" They're gonna end up having 50,000. They're gonna end up having 50 million people purchase that fight. Something crazy. Netflix, everybody has Netflix around the world, so it's gonna cause a lot of problems. And then the thing about it is, with Netflix, they have the real numbers, so they know who's the guys in boxing that's really selling. And I heard a lot of promoters saying, well, Jake Paul doesn't sell. Well, from what I see, Netflix thinks he sells. They have the real numbers when it comes to pay-per-view. And I'm dropping a hint on y'all right now. If you ever want to check the real numbers and stuff like that, just look at how easy a guy like Jake Paul gets deals with like DAZN and Showtime. It seems like every time he moves to a promotional company, Canelo will be right there. Not Netflix, but like DAZN, and then I think, what was it? Showtime. Then Canelo came from Showtime right after that. Like a month or two after that, too. Yeah, I think Loma gonna retire. If he said that about 2 or 3 times now. It might be a wrap. That Shakur Stevenson fight, I don't think that's gonna happen until like 2026 or something like that. To be honest with you, pushing a lot of stuff back too much. Because right now they're talking about Tank fight Lamont Roach. So what does that mean? Is he gonna fight? Is he still gonna fight Rayo or Pitbull, one of those guys? Is he gonna fight Ryan Garcia again? I don't think that might happen, because if he keeps waiting, Ryan Garcia gonna be too big. Ryan Garcia talking about 154 recently. I'm like, I thought he was just saying something. Then Oscar said, yeah, we looking at 154 to return. He said 47 recently, but then he was talking to Rayo. Then he was like, I'm at 47 or 54. I'm like, 54? Stu said it like 4 times already. So he might need to hurry up and try to get that rematch soon. He might not end up fighting Ryan unless he gonna move all the way up eventually. Try to fight him in a catch weight or something. But he don't have that many options. I mean, he has some options, but I don't know, man. This Lamont Roach fight, I like Lamont Roach. He a champion at 130, but I just feel like the divisions is kind of full right now. It's kind of stacked to the point where you ain't got to move around. You notice, like, most people that's smart about boxing, they're not asking Devin Haney to move around for 140. They're like, okay, just fight at 140. I wasn't asking Teofimo to leave 140. I felt like it was stacked. Still got Rayo and everybody down there. You can still fight at 140. People don't want to keep these guys at 140. Man, he tried to fight Tank tried to fight Teofimo last year after the Ryan Garcia fight. He asked him to fight at 135. 135. Teofimo was like, yeah, all right, I'm thinking about it. Thinking about making the fight. They talking about 135. He wasn't finna make that fight at no 135. Why would he fight at 135? So the same thing that everybody just found out he did to Rayo, that's what he did to Teofimo Lopez last year. He waited until he went to 140, fought Sandor Martin. Before the Josh Taylor fight, he was like, oh yeah, I'll fight you at 35. He's like, man, I don't fight at 35. Why would I do that? Yeah, I know. They need to make that fight happen. They need to make that fight happen. Tank should have had them pull their rehydration clause or whatever it is. Should have fought that guy at 140. You said Joshua still sells. Yeah, Joshua still sells. The thing that would have saved Joshua is activity. I think he wasn't fighting the right opponents. And he probably should have caught a guy like Dubois earlier. I just think they got him off his course, fighting the wrong guys. So what Spence said, I don't know, man. There's so much information coming out right now on PBC. It's always a mess when they put their fights out. It's like when they put their fights together, it's like they throwing out the trash. They're talking about Spence fighting Fedora, then it might happen, and it might not. I'm hearing that Crawford is a mandatory for Fedora, that he might get stripped. Fedora might get stripped if he fights Spence. Then they're talking about he gonna fight Spence anyways. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Eventually, Spence gonna fight. I knew he wasn't gonna fight now or sooner because he getting a new trainer. From what I've heard, he got a new trainer or whatever. But the younger Charlo, I don't know who he's working with. I don't know if he's still working with Derrick James or whatever, so I don't know why he was taking so long to come back. But I know PBC had that schedule. A lot of the guys who fought undisputed last year, like Stephen Fulton, Charlo, Spence, I mean, they're just now coming back. I know Fulton just now came back and fight. So PBC kind of moving slow right now. You say you getting them fast? Ah, man, I don't know, man. I kind of gave him a pass for that Frank Martin thing. Because to be honest with you, I didn't want to see the Hector Garcia fight. Like, it was to the point where I didn't even try to watch the fight. Because I just feel like he's way better than these guys. And I don't want to see him kind of waste his time fighting these other guys because everybody else resume getting good. I mean, he could fight these guys, but everybody else is fighting good competition. Even Teofimo was fighting Josh Taylor, so at least he was trying to do something. But I don't know, though. I don't want to kind of throw Lamont Roach under the bus, but I just know that if anybody else was fighting Lamont Roach, they'll have a problem with it. That's kind of why I was even having an issue with it. I know if this was Canelo and Canelo had fought, let's just say, who was like the Lamont Roach version of in Canelo situation? Janovic. I mean, I probably had the same kind of feelings toward it. Cause I'm like, now, bro, you just got belts at 168. You moving around. You trying to fight at 60. Yeah, I've said the same thing before. That's why I don't understand why people are. I don't understand that. I've heard people say, why are you fighting Charlo? And you could be fighting Benavidez. But then in the Tank situation, if you say, why are you fighting Lamont Roach? And you could be fighting Shakur Stevenson. People like, oh. So I'm like, I don't understand that. You said Loma said no. Shakur got hurt en route to the Richard fight. Richard. Oh, you know, I trust me, bro. I'm not one of those people who I gotta see you fight a champion. Daniel Dubois, he wasn't no he was only a champion recently, like through email. Daniel Dubois was an email champion, so he was technically not a champion before he beat Anthony Joshua. Some of the best fighters aren't really champions. Some of the best fighters are guys who lost. Look at Ryan Garcia. He's never been a champion. Nobody cares that Ryan Garcia is not a champion right now, and he's never been a champion. There's no fan that cares about Ryan Garcia having a belt or being a champion. So that's why I kind of have the energy towards it. Like, you don't have to fight a champion to fight a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's just crazy at a certain point. Even if you look at, do you know like Rafael Espinoza? He's a fighter that just came out of Mexico recently, fighting out of Mexico, and he ended up upsetting Robeisy Ramirez. Isaac Cruz, another fighter that came out of Mexico, went 12 rounds with Tank Davis. Now, what if I turn around and say, man, I'm in Mexico. I can't find no good fighters, man. I can't find no 135s who want to fight me. Now, they can go to Mexico and find Isaac Cruz at 135 to go 12 rounds with Tank Davis. But they'll sit around and they come over to America and they say, man, we can't find no 135s who want to fight. That makes people not want to watch boxing. Not because anybody not having their way. It's just because now you're making the sport not look real now. You know what I'm saying? It's like now you're kind of just picking certain ways of going about certain things. You know this, bro. We can go to a jail or prison right now with a guy who got tattooed just like Tank, same size as Tank. We can go to a jail in California, New York, Texas. We can go to a jail right now, find a guy who 5'2", 135 with a whole bunch of tattoos that'll sit around here and give us 6, 7, 8 hard rounds of fighting with Tank Davis right now. We all know this. We know some Mexican fighters right now that'll give Tank a hard 6, 7, 8 rounds. So when they be saying this, I'm like, nah, because we almost didn't see Isaac Cruz fight Tank. We got lucky to see Isaac Cruz fight Tank. That almost didn't happen. So if the Rolly situation didn't happen and he got his fight canceled with Tank, we would have never seen Isaac Cruz in the ring with Tank anyways. If Rayo would have never got his rematch, we would have never seen him in the ring with Pitbull. So it's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I understand what y'all saying about the champions. But then I'm like, cause look at Pacquiao. I'm glad you said that. Look at Pacquiao. Bro, Pacquiao was not playing about that resume. I wasn't like a super Pacquiao fan. Yeah, everybody want to be a star. They don't want them hard fights. That's why I lay off of guys like Isaac Cruz. I know he like 24, 25. As long as he giving hard fights, I'm cool with that. Like even with Teofimo losing to Kambosos, people really didn't care about it. I didn't really care about it. I was just happy that he lost because he wasn't gonna fight the big fights like he doing now, just holding on to the belt. But I still knew he was gonna be a good fighter. But he ain't fighting nobody right now. And his head ain't in the right place. See, Pacquiao, he was fighting everybody. And maybe I'm just used to like Pacquiao just fighting everybody, moving up 2 or 3 weight classes. I think Pacquiao had moved from like 135 to 147 in like the same year or something like that. I know Adrian Bronner even did that. But everybody don't want to take these hard fights, man. That's why a lot of guys be getting upset now. They be having these, I'm telling you, I've been seeing a lot of Mexican fighters with like 2 losses, jumping on these PBC cards. You remember that guy that fought Stephen Fulton? It's going to be a lot more fighters like that. These guys with like 2 or 3 losses. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of guys like that. Pitbull did the same way. Yeah, Pacquiao was fighting everybody. That was the first time I seen a boxer beat somebody up and I was like, oh my God. He's finna destroy this guy. I thought he was gonna destroy Shane Mosley. A big reason to why Shane Mosley be talking slow now is definitely because of Manny Pacquiao. And I'm definitely not being funny about that. I seen Shane Mosley get beat up by Pacquiao. I'm like, man. I was like, I don't know if I want to see this Floyd fight this guy. I used to say that as a Floyd fan. I'm like, I don't know if Floyd could beat this guy. I don't know about that. I was like, the way he just beat up Shane Mosley. Yeah, Bronner moved up from 135 to 147, man, in 1 year. The same year. He was fighting at 35 in like February, and then December he fought Maidana at 47. Bro, they tried to get him crushed, bro. And Maidana had almost 100% knockout rate. I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't want that pack back then. No, sir. No, sir. That's why. And then Floyd to sit up here and be like, man, these guys ain't trying to fight nobody now. Nah, bro, you wasn't doing like these guys doing. See, Floyd, he was waiting till guys was about 38, 37. See, Devin Haney, he'll jump up right now. Hey, yeah, I'll fight him. Let's go. See, I'm old enough to know, man, Floyd was fighting guys, but at the same time, it was guys that were calling him out at that time that was like, hey, I'm ready to jump in the ring. I will say that. He got approached a few times. He got away with that Zab fight too. I thought Zab Judah was putting in that work. Yeah, it was. I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm surprised Bronner ain't been stopped yet. I'm kind of surprised by that. Bronner is like, he fought Pacquiao, fought Maidana. Like, Adrian Bronner got a chin, man. Even with the Blair Cobbs fight recently, I'm like, this man got a chin, man. He does have a chin. I will say that. Oh, let me take that down. People probably don't even know why I got that up there. But yeah, he does have a chin. I will say that. But yeah, man, it's bad. Like, and I'm glad you brought that up too, about Bronner. A lot of fighters don't realize, man, they might end up retiring, and Bronner might have a better resume than them. Bronner's getting off the couch, fighting Blair Cobbs, going to the distance, even though he losing teeth and stuff. I'm like, this dude taking harder challenges, jumping off the couch. I think Bronner like 35, 34, 35. I think he might be 35. Man, I think Blair Cobb's like 34. I think Blair Cobb's like 34, 35. So I know Adrian Bronner like 35. I'm not gonna lie though, that fight between him and Blair Cobbs was entertaining, man. That was a very entertaining fight. That's one of the rematches I really wanted to see. That was a good fight. Yeah, he got some years on him. He could make something happen. I was surprised he lost all that weight recently. To be honest with you, man, he need to get in shape, man. Quit being lazy, AB. He lost all that weight in like a month, man. AB could have fought at 135 all these years. He not that big. I thought he was like taller. He's not that tall though. He's close to what Tank size. Not the same size, but he's not that big of a guy. He's pretty short. AB could have definitely made weight down there. Yeah, man, I think he done, man. The reason being, he ain't at that level no more. He ain't at that level no more. He's really not. Yeah, but a lot of these guys like Teofimo, man, he can't be pulling these kind of moves like he doing. He gotta get in the ring, man. You don't want to be like, not to disrespect Adrian Bronner, but you don't want to make the same kind of moves he done made. You can't make the same kind of moves. Definitely can't. Because right now he's not even being active no more. Now you arguing with Top Rank. It's a bad move, man. A lot of these guys still young too, but they gotta get in the ring, man. Cause a lot of other guys, they want to fight too. And from what I've seen, you know, the fans aren't really tripping about the talent. The new names is popping up. They've been fighting pretty good in boxing right now. I seen a couple of fighters coming out of Canelo gym. I seen some guys. They got some decent fighters. I forgot the fighter Canelo got out of his gym. I think he fought on the last card, the Canelo card. Got the dude's name. He said, yeah, he they're not paying him what he used to get, yeah. And also, he always been cutting corners. He always been cutting corners. Just it caught up to him. He ain't got the same team around him like he used to. Coach just passed away recently. He be having a lot of stuff going on around him. But he gotta learn how to cut that out, man. It's time to make some moves. You ain't gonna be able to box forever. He don't turn it around soon, it's gonna be a wrap. You said, I think Jerron Ennis is good. I think Boot's good. I think Boot's good. I think Boot's good. It's a lot of the guys his age that still ain't champion yet. So I think he in the driver's seat. I think he in the driver's seat. It's just that the reason why I say that is because when the whole Earl Spence and Crawford thing was trying to get made and everything else, I was trying to get one of those guys to fight Boots before that. So when that didn't happen, I was just like, I'm gonna move on. I don't really want to try to force Boots to fight these two guys. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I said that years ago. Like I wanted to see him fight somebody, but I mean, you can only fight who available right now. Because if we look at like the whole situation with him and Eddie Hearn, it's not a lot of guys that Eddie Hearn been able to find for what's his name? Conor Benn either. I think Conor Benn was at 140, 147 at one point. So it's always been hard to find some 147s. Just not a lot of 147 talent right now. He gonna have some guys soon that's gonna be able to fight him though. If this guy Giazov, I think Giazov is on the zone. I think he fighting the zone. But if he ends up fighting Stanionis and beating him, Boots Ennis might have a top guy he can fight. But they wanted him to stay with Top Rank. If he's not gonna stay on Top Rank, they wasn't finna have Boots Ennis hanging around. If he ain't fighting on Top Rank, they like, man, forget Boots. If he ain't fighting on PBC, see, if he would have stayed on PBC, Boots was gonna fight what am I saying? So basically, everything they're doing with Boots with Fundora right now, they was gonna do that with Boots Ennis. They was gonna try to put him in the mix. They were gonna try to put Boots Ennis in the mix. But I guess he wanted to stay at 47. But at 54, they was gonna try to put Boots Ennis in the mix though. Or at 47, I think. See, the move I seen they were gonna try to have happen was they were gonna try to have Boots Ennis fight on the same card as Tim Tszyu. Then they were gonna try to have him fight Mario Barrios. It was gonna be like a co-main event or something. It was gonna be either on Tim Tszyu card or Canelo card. But then Boots end up signing with the Zone. So the fight didn't happen. So now all the guys you see moving around like Tim Tszyu, Fundora, they moving around Charlo and Spence now, but like mostly Tim Tszyu, Fundora, those other guys. Stanionis at 47. They were gonna try to have Boots fight those guys, but I don't think he was gonna get paid what he's getting paid now. Gotta try to get the money while you can. He's already been waiting around. So I can't wait on another guy to lose and then for me to win. So that's kind of where he was at. So I was like, yeah, I understand that. He gonna end up fighting all these guys. They all around the same age. We just gonna have to wait, but like all these guys like Virgil Ortiz, Fundora, Lubin, Ramos, Tim Tszyu, Madrimov, Boychek. I think eventually Boots Anderson have a chance to fight all those guys. He's just trying to maximize, get everything he can out of 147. He's not gonna be 147 too much longer, so that's why he's doing it. It seems like he's missing out, but without Boots Anderson at 147, we really ain't got no talent at 147. You got Brian Norman Jr., but he's 23. And then he got to find some options too. You got Barrios. You got the champions, but outside of them, you got some guys, some names. Mostly young. Yeah, that's not what I was looking for either. That rematch. You said boosting to call out Bud. They could have made that fight with Bud. He could have made that fight with Bud, but just a lot of stuff been going on in boxing. They could have fought, but it would have been for peanuts though. It wouldn't have been they wouldn't have got paid what they deserve. They wouldn't have got paid some real money. Not like these guys is making on Turkey out of sheet cards. I think when him and Terence Crawford had trying to wait on PBC so long, that kind of messed that fight up. Because a lot of these fights PBC putting together now, they should have put these fights together like a year or two ago, man. They usually be right on time with their matchups. I mean, the Benavidez fight is early, but you said Boots beat Crawford, the man. Oh, no, Boots can beat, he can beat, who's another guy he can beat? Shoot, Boots could beat Tim Tszyu and beat the guy too. That'll be a good fight. Cause even if he beats Terence Crawford, if he goes out there and beats Terence Crawford right now, he ain't gonna have no problem getting the fight because everybody gonna want to fight him. They gonna want to beat him. They ain't gonna have no problem getting the fight. Like Munguia and Berlanga right now, they're not gonna have a problem getting the fight. Everybody gonna try to beat them. Oh yeah, Barrio just had a baby, man. Yeah, congrats to him. If Boots beat Crawford, he the man. Yeah, he is, man. He really is, dog. Yeah, Tim is fighting with PBC. Yeah, he likes fighting with PBC. Yeah, Tim a dog, man. We need him on PBC. You said Barrios want the bag. I think Barrios should get the bag right now. I think he should. Because if he don't get it right now, they ain't gonna. I think he should get it. You know what I'm saying? Barrios had some tough fights. He had to fight Tank, Keith Thurman, then Ugas. Hey, you know this. Hey, you know this, Jose. Nobody wanted to fight Keith Thurman after a long layoff. Really. And he was a 140, so he moved up. And then he fought Ugas. Nobody really wanted to fight Ugas after the Earl Spence fight. So I mean, they would have fought him, but that wasn't a fight they was fantasizing about. Yeah, Stanionis and Barrios are PBC. Man, I don't know if Stanionis gonna win that next fight. He gotta fight that Giasov guy. I forgot what country he's from. It's either Uzbekistan or I think it's Uzbekistan. I think he's from the same place that Madrimov from. Yeah, 147. Kind of look like Madrimov in the face a little bit. Man, Keith, man, he tripping. That's what I'm saying. Hey, if he don't get on the card, if Keith don't get on the card within the next, if he not fighting in January, he gonna get stopped in the next fight. If Keith don't get on the card, man, he getting stopped. And shout out to Go Good too, man. Got to say something to you early. Man, if Keith don't get on, if he don't fight, man, he gonna get stopped. I didn't like him taking that long layoff before that Pacquiao fight. I bet he wish he would have stayed active and did a lot more before that Pacquiao fight. If you look at Keith Thurman's last like 6 years, I'm not lying, since like 2017, it's something crazy. This dude only fought like 3 times or something crazy like that. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, Keith Thurman was it's certain fights he been turned down. It gotta be. Man, look at this. Keith Thurman's fought 1, 2, 3 times since 2017. Three fights in 6 years? Yeah, I think he's done. Time to hang it up. I don't know what you're trying to do in boxing at that point. You know, when everybody had a shutdown going on, everybody came out taking some tough fights. You got guys hopping on Pro Box. That's why I respect these guys who fight on Pro Box. I never laugh at any fighters who fight on Pro Box. I show them the most respect because a guy like Keith Thurman, man, he ain't trying to do that. Not to say that he needs to be because he ain't got that many losses, but nah, he ain't trying to fight for everything right now. He say he lost his powers and hair fell out. Hey, you the second person I heard say that. But hey, that's exactly when everything started going wrong. He got that haircut, it started getting crazy after that. He said he got his hair been falling out. Yeah, Pacquiao put the beats on him. To be honest with you, we didn't know how good Pacquiao was up until that point. I think the last guy he had fought was like Bronner or somebody. Mikey Garcia or somebody like that. Went out there and fought. Keith Thurman dropped him and was letting his hands go. Pacquiao took some hard shots in that fight too. Keith Thurman was throwing some heat. But, bro, he wasn't on that level, man. Keith Thurman took too much time off. He didn't get better. I'm pretty sure Spence would have beat him. It didn't make a lot of sense to me when he said that Floyd Mayweather said, "I'll fight you if you fight Earl Spence." And he turned it down. And Floyd Mayweather never said something like that. He'd never tell somebody, "I'll fight you if you fight this guy." That's how I knew Floyd Mayweather was telling the truth. He never says that. He said, if you fight that guy, I'll fight you. He said, nah, never mind. I don't want to fight. So since then, I've been kind of looking like, I don't know, Keith. I don't know what you're trying to do right now. I feel like he was trying to make a name without trying to fight certain names. He did fight Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, which are tough fights for him. And they're tough fights for anybody, but once it got to like Earl Spence, Terence Crawford, and a lot of people got that narrative from Keith Thurman when Keith Thurman said, Terence Crawford ain't fought nobody at 147. He ain't did nothing at welterweight. So all that stuff came from Keith Thurman. It didn't come from Earl Spence. Keith Thurman was the first person I heard say it. Like the day that they announced Terence Crawford was going to 47, he was like, he ain't beat nobody at 47. Then he said Jeff Horn ain't that good. Jeff Horn did a lot better than you did against Manny Pacquiao. Hey, this dude said Jeff Horn ain't that good. Then went out there and got dropped by Pacquiao. I should make a video about that. Pull up the clip where he says, yeah, man, Jeff Horn ain't that good. Then you show him getting dropped by Pacquiao. Jeff Horn ain't that good. That dude crazy. Jeff Horn got a better resume than Keith Thurman does. And that's with Danny Garcia on there. And Sean Porter. Still got a better resume. Jeff Horn had fought Pacquiao, Terence Crawford, and Tim Tszyu. Oh, yeah. You're right. And you know what? That's a good point you bring up because you're right though. I'm starting to give him a lot more credit, to be honest with you. I'm starting to give Earl Spence a lot more credit. That's why I don't really go in on him like that, because the thing I appreciate about Earl Spence, he just get up and make the fight, man. He'll make the fight. Like when he fought Danny Garcia, I was like, whoa, dude coming back already? Yeah, he just gets up and make the fight. Right now, it seems like a lot of guys are waiting though. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Spence could have put some stuff together. Golden Boy had a lot of opportunities too. They had a lot of fighters back in the day. They trying to stack them back up. They got a nice little stable right now. Yeah, Golden Boy trying to stack some fighters back up. I had this story earlier this year talking about Golden Boy was gonna have a good year. I felt like all the guys moving up in weight was gonna help him. Like Ryan Garcia. It's crazy because I did a whole video like in January where I was talking about Golden Boy and Ryan Garcia's weight and everything. But I was talking about it helping him. He was getting stronger. Gaining weight would make him stronger. It's crazy. I forgot I made that video. Just thinking about it just now. But yeah, Spence, I think he still had a good career though. Because he had went out and fought Kell Brook overseas. That was pretty big. Especially when the media was going out there. That was like one of the first time I seen YouTubers like going overseas, and you had an American fighter like being crowded by all the British fans. It was pretty wild. But he got a lot of support out there though. That was pretty wild. He got a lot of support out there. But yeah, I think Spence, if he comes back right now and beats a guy like Fundora, the Terence Crawford loss won't be that big of a deal. It's such a big deal because it was his last fight and the way it was, and it just caught everybody off guard. I think so many people was caught off guard that it was like, and that's a good thing. That just shows, I think it's a good thing that people question it because it shows how good Errol Spence was. Well, how good he is, if I just say that. It just shows how good Errol Spence is. It really is. Even with, I can say this. I'll give y'all credit for this. You and Jose and everybody else that was in here. With y'all saying that Charlo wasn't doing nothing, I agree with y'all. Y'all just saying that he could have did better. And I agree with y'all on that. So that makes sense. He could have did better in the fight. Because he did when he survived in that one round. Dude was actually boxing like pretty amazing, but he just did it to survive. So I kind of look at it, I'm like, yeah, you're right about that. Because at one point, Spence was unbeatable. He wasn't stopping everybody, but he was still outboxing a lot of people. And that Sean Porter fight was close too. I don't know if he comes back right and kind of make some adjustments. I think Spence can make some noise, but he gotta make some adjustments though. It gotta be like what Fundora did after he got knocked out. When Fundora got knocked out, he came back in that Tim Tszyu fight. He learned a lot of his loss. So a lot of these guys, they learn a lot after they lose. I don't know if he can have a chance against Crawford. It might be one of those things where he got his number. I gotta see how this Beterbiev and Bivol fight to go this weekend. If that fight's too close, then I might say, yeah, those guys. But if it's a blowout, I might be like, nah. I don't want to see a. Yeah, I was a huge fan of Errol Spence. I'm talking about like huge fan of Spence. I still am. I'm still a huge fan. But I thought nobody could beat him. Then one day, I seen a couple of videos on Terence Crawford. I was like, who is this guy? Kept looking him up. I'm like, he at 135. He ain't gonna never fight Spence. He got the 140. I was like, man, he might beat that Spence guy. I just seen how wild he was. I could see it in his eyes. I was like, man, this dude crazy. A lot of people starting to realize how crazy he is. I ain't gonna say crazy, but you know, he don't play for real. Yeah, Spence was beating everybody though. After that Kell Brook win, because I didn't know how early it was. I was like, man, he moving fast on this Kell Brook fight. I didn't think he was gonna lose, but I felt like, man, he moving fast. Went out there, beat Kell Brook. I said, okay. He fought Mikey Garcia. I knew that was gonna be a close fight. He fought Sean Porter. That's when I said, man, he might not be able to get beat at this point. But I always had Terence Crawford over him that whole time. It was just something about Terence Crawford. I was like, man, this dude can fight, man. I never seen people doing this. I never seen a fighter doing the stuff that Terence Crawford was doing. The dude is like Mayweather size, but he's knocking guys out. Like it's a game winner or something. Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying on that. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I can agree on that. Yeah, it don't feel like he been the same for a while. I don't know if he got that fire under him still. I think to be honest with you, he just chilling. Cause sometimes it seems like he says he want to hang it up or retire, but some days it's like boxing a tough sport though. It's very tough. It ain't a sport at this point. If you're a fighter, boxing is life for real. Yeah, I seen what somebody said earlier. I forgot who the guy said that said something about a Bitterbill fight. Hey, if y'all want to see something good tonight, go watch. I seen it before, but I forgot about this fight. Man, I forgot about that. Go back and go look at that Bitterbill versus what is it, Jeff Page? I think the guy's name Jeff Page. You can look it up on YouTube. Man, it's wild. Go look up Jeff Page versus Bitterbill. That kind of made me nervous a little bit picking Bitterbill. I was like, oh man, I can't believe this Jeff Page guy went out and actually styled on Bitterbill like this. He styled on him. Yeah, but Bitterbill's still dangerous though. Every guy fights him the same. They fight him like it's 2 minute rounds. Everybody's like running the whole time. Uh, you know what's funny, man? Dudes really be running in the ring with him though. Not gonna lie. See some guys running around a lot. Guys that don't move that much. Yeah, it'd be tough for Spencer to beat Fundora. But I think he got a chance against Fundora just because of the style. But right now, with Fundora jabbing, nobody can beat Fundora. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at you, nerd. Peace out, bro. Be safe, man. At work, man. Try to be safe out there, bro. Yeah, I was thinking of that too. Like Ryo and Pitbull. Yeah, he can do that. I can actually see it, and he can get caught with a chin too. Man, it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm looking at some of these highlights, and I'm looking. Bivol Bivol can outbox that guy. He really can. He can outbox that guy. He can really outbox him. He really can. Better be throwing some wide punches sometimes. I think Bivol could take advantage of that. He just got to be strictly down the middle. I want to see how his defense is going to be, though. As long as his defense on point, Bivol should be all right. If he goes out here and win this fight, man, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, he needs you to stand in front of him. He don't like doing the chasing. He don't like doing the chasing. He get frustrated. Oh, he don't like that. See, I'm right now. I'm going with Bitterbill, but I'm not gonna lie. I might wake up tomorrow. Might end up changing my pick, man. What's up, DJ Rush? I'm doing all right, man. You doing all right tonight? When I started boxing, I looked at Errol Spence style, type of pressure fighter I want to be, but without the bladed stance, not really a fan of it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, me too. I agree with you on that one. I'm not a fan of the stance though. That stance is kind of limited. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah, it's nothing wrong with the style. It's nothing wrong with the style. He just not. He don't got anything to counter with it. That style, he getting countered with that style the way he's. I'm not really a big fan of that style with Derrick James. I know over the years I caught a lot of flack because I didn't give the guy a lot of credit, but I've never been a huge fan of his style because it's a lot of. It's not really a. How can I say this? It's not an aggressive style. It's not a style where you're going out to actually. A lot of that stuff, you're waiting on somebody else to do something, and it's kind of robotic. It's a limited style. Trying to catch and shoot, it don't really work. Get caught a lot of times like that. You trying to catch and shoot with certain boxers, it's not gonna work. Especially a guy who knows what he's doing, a good counter puncher. I think the strategy was bad from the beginning. But yeah, I think it's the way he pressures, and nothing was wrong with the way he was going about the fight though with Terence Crawford. He was taking the fight to him. A lot of people don't really fight Terence Crawford like that. Y'all seen how Madrimov was. Hey, Madrimov ain't run up in there like Errol Spence did. You turn on the Errol Spence fight between Terence Crawford, he just ran straight up in there, swinging. Let's go. Madrimov was like, oh, let me think about it. Let me clinch. So it was a lot of strategic things that Madrimov was doing that Errol Spence could have easily added to his repertoire. He could have clinched a lot more. Leaned on him. Could have been a lot of different things that went on in the fight where he didn't have to throw a lot of punches. It could have lasted 12 rounds. But yeah, a lot of times with Spence, he's strictly a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He going in there fighting toe to toe. He ain't doing a lot of clinching. You ain't never gonna hear about Errol Spence clinching a lot, holding, trying to survive. Even against Terence Crawford, he wasn't trying to survive, he was fighting. Dude was fighting. He wasn't even trying to survive at a certain point. Yeah, he could. He could make some adjustments with that style. But it depends on if he been doing something this last 6 months. He need to get started as soon as possible. He could definitely add something to what he's doing. I seen Bomac working with Chris Eubanks and helped him with a couple of things, a couple of adjustments. Yeah, can't play into that crowd either. That crowd, I think that crowd being so hyped, that crowd was hyped when him and Crawford was fighting. That crowd being so hyped, man, you can't play into that. But yeah, I think it might be a situation where every style is not gonna be able to beat Spence style though. That's why Spence actually fights someone else. It's gonna catch a lot of guys off guard because they're gonna be like, man, he look easy against Terence Crawford, but then when they fight him, it's a lot of guys can't handle pressure fighters these days either. You got to remember that. Eastside Cruz, he's nothing but pressure. As soon as Tank Davis was in front of him, it kind of slowed down, but you seen that he was still a pressure fighter. He slowed down against Rayo too. So only certain people can slow down a pressure fighter, especially a guy who's a good pressure fighter. But a guy like Eastside Cruz, he can get slowed down by Rayo. It happens. But he can go out there and knock out Rolly though. So it just depends what fight it's in. I don't try to put too much pressure on Spence though, because it's not like they putting him on a pound for pound on a whole bunch of lists. So I don't try to treat him like he a pound for pound fighter until they start putting him on a pound for pound. At this point, I just treat him like any other boxer. He took a loss, he gonna have to bounce back, just like with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua can bounce back, I know Spence got a chance. There's a lot of other guys that got way worse losses than Errol Spence. That's definitely bounced back. It just makes it worse because he hasn't boxed lately. And that's going to be another thing that people are going to realize too. It's hard to get in the ring with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford makes everybody look bad. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think he need to go to the body. I think he need to go to the body. Go back to this old style, the way he was fighting in the beginning. Go to the body. Because the things that Lubin was having success with against Fandora, I could see Earl Spence doing the same thing. Him and Lubin do a lot of things that's similar. I can see Earl Spence doing the same kind of things that Lubin was doing against Fandora. And he's not gonna take that much damage. Lubin was walking straight into some shots from Fandora. It's kind of hard to dodge him because he's so tall, but he was walking straight into some shots. He was dodging them later on, but wasn't working. I believe Spence should target Fandora's body to power up on him. Fandora will be able to withstand no fight. Oh yeah, I was already saying that. Fandora, Terence Crawford, too versatile. Yeah, he's too versatile for a lot of people, man. They don't understand that. They think he's just a knockout fighter, but he outboxes a lot of guys. He outboxes a lot of fighters. I don't want this to get too out of hand because we got a good division right now in 154. But it seems like right now they want to keep sitting 154 fighters in front of Terence Crawford to show how good he can box. He gonna end up clearing out another division before we know it. It's a good division right now, but sooner or later they're gonna start having these guys. It's gonna be empty. It's gonna look like 147 again. Yeah, you don't have a lot of guys targeting the body right now. Yeah, you don't got a lot of fighters doing it. I forgot who I was talking about recently. Man, I was talking about a fighter recently. It might have been a female. I'm trying to think. I don't know why I think it's a female. But I seen someone recently, man, they was just going to the body and you could tell that everybody's not doing it now. I was like, man, that person going to the body is. Oh, what's the guy named Carmel Moulton? Floyd Mayweather's fighter? That dude goes to the body. Little guy going to the body. Boom, boom, boom. They knocking guys out with body shots now. Guys getting knocked out with body shots. They not even punching you in the face no more. But it's not a lot of them though. It's only like 3 or 4 guys that's really doing it. But the really good fighters that's young, they doing a lot of good body shots. Knocking people out to the body. A lot of these other guys, they head hunting, going for the, trying to go up top, trying to put guys to sleep. You know how that goes. But if a lot of guys were smart, they'll just work on their jab, their stamina. All you need is some a jab, stamina, head movement, good stance. It's really all you need. Because a lot of fighters these days, they lose fights off stamina. I've seen so many guys lose because they're not in shape. Oh yeah, he did. He did. Spencer used to do a good job kind of pushing guys off on the inside, going to the body, getting some distance. Yeah, he did some good. Yeah, he did some good work. Against Terence Crawford, just make it a little worse, man. It looks. That's why when he gets back in the ring, if he's able to kind of go to that level again, he gonna surprise a lot of people. Might make somebody some money too. I'm not gonna count him out in his next fight. I'm gonna see how he's doing, but I'm not gonna count him out. Oh yeah, the heavyweight division. Okay. Yeah, that amateur fight, man. A lot of those guys, they go to the body a lot of times, but they don't do it throughout the whole fight. The boxing I've been seeing lately, a lot of people haven't been going to the body. They be trying to jab, throw punches toward the chest. Yeah, but that's still a good height though for heavyweight. A short heavyweight's most dangerous right now. There's a lot of heavyweights right now that's short in boxing. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you just can't beat that guy. We're gonna see how it's gonna go with that Fury and Usyk situation, but Most of the time, man, it's hard to beat a guy uh after losing the first time. Most of these fights, when a guy loses first, I mean, when he wins the first time, usually wins the second time. But the good thing is, though, a lot of people want to see the rematch of certain fights. That's one of the fights people want to see a rematch in. But yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes you just can't beat the guy. But man, I don't know. I'm trying to see. Besides Boots, we don't got nobody else to be honest with you. Got Teofimo around, but I thought Virgil Ortiz, but he's not at 47 no more. He's at 54, so they kind of bunch him in with everybody else. Yeah, Usyk. Yeah, I hope Usyk win too. Because if he doesn't win, probably gonna be some other crap that's you know what I'm saying. I think Usyk losing right now, that'll be a setback. I don't want to have any more fights pushed back. That's why I didn't want to have no rematches. I think a lot of people didn't understand why I said it, but the rematch is kind of keeping away from us seeing the other fights that could have been happening. Right now, it would have been good if we would have seen Dubois and Usyk fight again, or um, some other heavyweights. So many heavyweights right now walking around, but Joseph Parker and Zane could have fought somebody. Yeah, he don't want to fight Dubois. I don't know why he don't want to fight Dubois. He don't want to fight, but technically, Dubois is, with Frank Warren. Dubois with Frank Warren, and so is Fury. So they kind of like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. But they usually do it with Joe Joyce and those guys, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if Fury gonna fight Dubois. Dubois gonna have a tough time finding the fight. Besides Bacoli, uh, it depends. If Dubois ends up getting all the belts at heavyweight, it'll be easy for him to find a fight then, because everybody gonna want to pay that. But even with that belt, man, I wish he didn't have to fight Anthony Joshua again. Just because I know it's gonna slow down the heavyweight division. I don't want to wait another year to try to put some fights together. The heavyweight division is already slowed down, waiting on this whole Fury and Usyk situation. Tyson Fury getting those cuts on his eye early this year. It kind of hurt a lot of stuff. The bitter bee of injury hurt some things too, but kind of makes you think they should have just went into the fight around last December and January. Oh yeah, Frank getting them out there. Yeah, Frank getting them out there. Frank ain't never got the credit as far as that stuff because he wasn't flashy and He didn't have the big names. But yeah, Frank always been making moves. I knew Frank was making moves when he was pushing Nick Ball last year. I knew Frank was making moves when he was pushing Nick Ball last year. I said I like this Nick Ball guy. I don't know who he is, but I like how he fights. I didn't even think about comparing him to somebody like Pitbull. I know a lot of people been doing that lately. But yeah, after he did the Nick Ball situation, had him get set up to get some belts, I knew Frank Warren was gonna make some big moves. I've been actually reporting on him and De La Hoya mostly this year. De La Hoya and Frank Warren been doing a good job promoting this year. More than Eddie Hearn or most of the other people. They put together some big fights. I think Salita been doing some good fights too. I like Salita promotions. But yeah, Frank Warren is definitely somebody I would choose. A lot of people complaining about him right now though. Like Anthony Yard, Eubanks. They like what's the guy's name? Ben Shalom. They like him right now. The boxer guy, Boxxer. He got Bacoli, Anthony Yard, Eubanks. Who else is over there? Adam Azim is over there. Can't think of everybody. I don't think Bawasi is over there. Yeah, he is. And see, Eddie Hearn. What Eddie Hearn's doing right now is he's getting a lot of American talent right now. Because right now, Frank Warren has gotten a lot of the young talent over there across the pond. So what Eddie Hearn is doing right now is he's getting a lot of young fighters, trying to leverage those guys. See, if Eddie Hearn had a Nick Ball right now, he'll be having that guy fight right now. But with Joe Cordina taking a loss, that hurt a lot. Then with Joshua losing recently, that definitely hurts. I think just those last two losses, that definitely hurt. Then Devin Haney's technically not signed to him directly, but they do business together. But so that's why he went and got Jerron Ennis and Shakur Stevenson. I think Eddie Hearn's in a good spot though. I'm gonna tell you why. Because outside of, how do I say this? So let's just say if Terence Crawford doesn't fight anybody, if he goes on and retires or just have a couple of more fights, whatever the plans was for fans to say, hey, I wanted Terence Crawford to do this, you can kind of slide Jerron Ennis into that position. And he could be the next big thing just because a lot of fighters not trying to take those tough fights, especially right now. Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right. You got to do what you got to do. Like somebody said recently, they was like about Mike Tyson. Don King. They was like, yeah, Don King robbed Mike Tyson. I think somebody said, well, Mike Tyson made I think like over $100 million or whatever. And like, I don't know how you get robbed with somebody paying you like that. That is true. I don't know how you get robbed when somebody's paying you that much money. I understand what he's saying, but I don't understand. I know Don King was getting dudes paid back in the day. It wasn't perfect, but it's not perfect now. But they were getting paid though. Yeah, the boxing game definitely changing right now. If these guys were smart though, they would take advantage with the turkey out of sheet situation. Because once that's all over with, you gotta go back to these promoters making these in-house fights again. And once Turkey Al Sheik is done with the whole situation, it's gonna be a lot of guys that got losses. Losing in boxing isn't bad, but I'm saying just like protecting your O is kind of becoming irrelevant, which is a good thing. A lot of people got tired of that in boxing. But yeah, they gotta live in the life of luxury in boxing. It's definitely what the promoter is supposed to do for you. Yeah, I was thinking about watching that. Is that actually good? I was gonna check that out. Yeah, I used to watch those. I seen a couple of matches recently. It looked like the real deal. It looks like Raw a little bit. You remember WWE Raw? Looks like Raw a little bit. Not the new one, but the old one. WWF, really. Yeah, I think the wrestlers on there are better than the ones on the other networks. Yeah, I seen a couple of those. I'm gonna try to check one out too. I might watch one tonight. He says it's darker. He says it's dark like ECW. ECW used to be dark. ECW used to be dark. ECW almost looked like UFC. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out though. Yeah, I was on here for a minute, man. I just wanted to get on here and talk for a little bit, man. Chop it up. Shout out to DJ Rush, man. Go good. I don't know if my dog at work still. Yeah, I wanted to come on here late. I know he be on here. I'm gonna be back on here tomorrow though. They got a boxing match coming on tomorrow. I'm gonna check it out. Just wanted to go live for a little bit before midnight on my end. I know it's already almost 1 a.m. Appreciate that DJ Rush for coming through, man. For me, 6 on 20. Oh, you on the 20? Okay. Yeah, it's gotten worse. WWE has gotten worse. It's gotten worse. The camera and everything looks good. It got HD. Oh, appreciate that, Kramer. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I ain't want to be going in like I'm yelling at y'all, so. But yeah, I had to cook tonight, man. I've been so tired of hearing about that Teofimo crap. I'm gonna get back to talking about some real news tomorrow, but yeah, I had to cook on that for a little bit. Yeah, appreciate that, Kramer. Go ahead. I don't know how many times I've seen you in here, but I'm pretty sure I remember your face after this. Or your name. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. I've been hearing about it lately. I heard AEW been stepping their game up. Yeah, it's like that sometimes, man. I mean, bro is definitely annoying, but uh I mean the way he's gonna go out is the way he came into the game. If he's gonna come into the boxing game loud, and that's the way he gonna leave. You can't leave quiet. He gonna definitely leave being loud and with all the attention on him. But this situation with Top Rank, it goes to show, man, he's gonna put himself in a bad position. I'm telling you. Teofimo really messed himself up trying to go at Top Rank right now, because the last time this happened, he ended up getting a loss on the zone. And he's been beefing with Eddie Hearn too, talking smack with Eddie Hearn, and said the zone's gonna be done in a couple of years. Now you see how much money Eddie Hearn and all these people getting on the zone. I know he want to go over there and get a payday now. Terence Crawford left Top Rank. The dude wants to do the same thing Terence Crawford did. He wants to sue Top Rank or whatever, take him to court, allegedly. And he wants to leave, go to somewhere like the zone, work with Turkey Al-Sheikh, get a payday. And that's it. It's sad because he can do all that on ESPN right there, but these guys be signing them contracts, man. Signing them contracts. He got to realize when he's being protected and when he's not. Right now, they're protecting you. But as soon as you leave Top Rank, they're not going to be able to protect you no more. All those robberies that people been saying that's robberies, that's not going to happen. But if he was on the zone with Eddie Hearn, he would have lost a couple more fights. That Kambosos fight wouldn't have been the last fight. And Kambosos, and what I realized too, Top Rank signed a lot of guys that Teofimo either lost to or got knocked down by. That guy Sandor Martin, he looks like he's going to be Teofimo Lopez's replacement at 140. And then Kambosos, you got Bob Arum working with Kambosos right now. He been working with Kambosos since the Teofimo fight. Oh, appreciate that, bro. Oh, okay, man. Appreciate that, man. Oh, yeah, man. I always talk to you, dog. It's like my 10th time talking to you, bro. Yeah, I'm going to check out the AEW, too. I'm going to check it out next time it come on. I'm going to see when it come on, or the last one that came on. I'm going to end up checking it out. I've been trying to get back on it, too. I'm glad you said something about it. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. Yeah, you know I always talk to you, man. I'm going to be back on here tomorrow, man. You can come back in here. I'm going to be on here Saturday and Friday. Yeah, just come through, man. I'm going to be on here. Yeah, appreciate that, DJ Rush. Yeah, Kramer. Dude got some brain damage, man. He got to get it right. The dude was on. He been on top. All he had to do was beat Lomachenko. I felt like he was chasing the Kambosos fight a little too much. The dude, he chased that Kambosos fight so bad. That's when everything started going bad. Well, Top Rank was just like, nah, we ain't got the money to do it right now. We ain't gonna do it. He like, nah, we need to do this. I'm trying to go to Triller. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do a deal. Let me go to the Zone with Eddie Hearn. End up losing. Came right back to ESPN. So at this point, he's kind of wearing thin right now. And Bob Arum, he's good right now. He got a lot of talent still. He got Baranchik at 135. He still got some fighters. Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn Davis. I know you got Shushu Carrington, so he got a lot of fighters right now. He's definitely doing what he's supposed to. Bob Arum don't care right now. He replaced a lot of fighters last year. And he's prepared to fight to replace Teofimo Lopez too. Like the fighters like Sandor Martin and those guys, he signed them for a reason. And don't quote me on this, but I think he signed Sandor Martin after Teofimo Lopez almost lost to Jermaine Ortiz. I think he signed Sandor Martin after that. Because that's when I found out Sandor Martin was a mandatory back then for Haney. Yeah, you're right. That's a lot of the new up and comers, yeah. There's a lot of those guys. Yeah, man, those guys, they better get in check soon because these people ain't playing out here in the boxing game. They starting to replace these guys. It's always young guys fighting every week now. You get to see new talent all the time. Everybody's good. It's just different now. It's way different. Then the Mexican fighters are fighting a lot more, not asking for too much. So that's always an option still. Yeah, some of these guys, they got to fight some more different fighters though. It's a lot of people that's not fighting a lot of Mexican fighters right now. I noticed too. I don't think Teofimo fought that many Mexicans. I might be wrong, but I don't remember him fighting that many Mexican fighters. Hasn't fought Barbosa. Not Jose Ramirez. Sandor Martin, he's from Spain. He fought Campo. Let's see. Fought Magdaleno. Yeah, he fought Magdaleno recently. Not too many recently though. Yeah, it's time to mix it up, man. Just fighting stable at this point. But yeah, man, it's definitely time for the up and comers to get a chance at certain fights. They getting held back too much now. A lot of guys standing in the way. They standing in the way too much. But if you don't fight somebody like Crawford, you're gonna end up having to fight Boots. It's gonna eventually happen if you want to stay in boxing. That's why a lot of people say they should only have one belt, so guys can't really move around so much. Try to avoid certain fights and matchups. But until I see people trying to fight Boots Ennis around his age group, yeah, the only fight he can make is Terence Crawford at this point. Because I know Brian Norman and Terence Crawford, those are two fights people want to see, but other guys, it's nobody else. So I think Boots might get avoided for a while. Might not see him in the ring with somebody highly ranked until like next year. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know they gotta get the internet beats and mix a lot more. It's been a lot more promotion going on. We just don't know who's fighting, you know what I'm saying? We gotta figure out who they fight. And you know what I don't like they do? One thing I don't like that they do, Kramer, I don't like when they put together these fights and it's like we don't know who's fighting until the day of the fight. Even when Stephen Fulton was fighting recently on the Canelo card, I didn't really know who was fighting next. A lot of these fight cards, they don't have the fights in order. It's hard to keep up with a lot of these fights. Even when you try to watch an undercard, the undercard starts early or starts too late. They make it hard to promote the young guys, the new guys more. A lot of times they'll have guys on the prelims, then they won't show the fights with some of those guys. It won't be televised, and it's getting wild out here. There's a lot more promotion going on though. There's a lot of young guys getting in the mix right now though. That's why it's good for Riyadh season to be happening. These fights with Turkey Al Sheikh, because a lot of young guys can get an opportunity to get in the ring. Nah, they can't sell no tickets right now. Nah, they can't sell no tickets. They gonna have to do like the other guys did back in the day. Go out and sell their own tickets. They really might have to do that though. Guys got a lot of followers, so it's hard to make followers go to a fight, but a lot of people ain't gonna turn down no boxing match if they know what's going on in the city. Most people will go to a boxing match. Yeah, most people will go to a boxing match. But they gotta have consistent fight, and they charge a lot for some of these local fights. They be charging like they charge at the big fights, $50, $60. That's a lot for a small card. But you know, fighters still gotta get paid. Still a business. But yeah, a lot of these guys, they gotta start putting some names together. If they fight a couple of guys, like, if I was them, I'd just fight a guy who's not really on big cards anymore, but he got a big name. If they can do that without trying to actually break the bank, that can help. It's a lot of fighters in boxing that used to be contenders. That's not like active or have a big name anymore, but they still got a name in boxing. That'll help you sell tickets. Get somebody who got a certain name or that's popular, and then fight him in the city he's from. Might have to be the B side, but you'll be able to get yourself out there. But yeah, a lot of people ain't selling tickets right now though. It's definitely hard to be a lower level fighter selling tickets. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man. I was just chopping up with you, Kramer. I'm gonna be back on here tomorrow, man. I was just talking about this whole Teofimo thing. But yeah, appreciate that for coming through, bro. I'm gonna holler at you later on tomorrow.